What's fueling me for this fight against Tyson Fury is revenge. Solely revenge. What I done for him and what he didn't do for me. You know, played games, even cheated. Revenge is all, my mind is very violent, and revenge is all I see. The world, people in boxing have showed me true colors. It rejuvenated me. I needed this breath of fresh air. I needed to see that. My mind is always going to be violent in the sport of boxing because the sport of boxing itself is violent. But now they've created even someone mindset that makes it even more violent than what it already was. How does it end? When people come to see a Deontay Wilder fight, they know one thing for sure, that he's going to give his all and somebody's going to get knocked out.
I gave my game plan away the first time because he wasn't good enough to do anything about it. And I'll do the same thing this time because he's not good enough to do anything about it. Deontay Wilder's a one-trick pony. He's got one-punch power. We all know that. Great. What I'm going to do to Deontay Wilder this time is I'm going to run him over as if I'm an 18-wheeler and he's a human being. And I guarantee you he does not go past where he did before. Because before I only had 5 or 6 weeks of practicing what I was going to do to him. This time I've had 18 months of practicing what I'm going to do to him. So I anticipate it's going to be like an 18-wheeler running over somebody. And that's what you're going to see. I'm building my weight up. I'm trying to get up to 300 pounds for this fight. Because I'm looking for a big knockout straight away. I don't believe he's mentally, physically or emotionally involved in his fight. I think he's doing it for the wrong reasons. And when people do things for the wrong reasons, they always wind up getting hurt. We'll see on fight night if I'm a man to my word and if I can run him over quicker than round 7. And I think I do, for sure.
Well, it's tough to know the reasons with Deontay Wilder because he didn't meet with the main media. He did some YouTube interviews with mostly reporters who are sycophants and acolytes and getting it on his terms. He made an opening statement. He spoke briefly with you afterwards. But a lot of finger pointing at Deontay Wilder coming off of this press conference because of not wanting to engage when he has spent the better course of the year, Dre, talking nonstop, making claims, having conspiracy theories, making accusations that Tyson Fury cheated, have loaded gloves, pointing fingers at his own corner, firing Mark Breland, saying he was acting as a double agent. The list of excuses, the list of claims goes on and on and on. And then he didn't speak about any of them the other day when he would have been asked about them.
Well, everything you just named in terms of, the character of Wilder and how he's, presented himself in the sport is not just the last couple of years. That's how he's always been. So when you see him sort of tuning out the world and trying to tune out Tyson Fury, it's a major red flag because it looks like he's hiding. It looks like he's struggling to deal with the pressure in the moment. And, of course, we all know, and Fury said it, that Wilder's always a punch away from upsetting the apple cart and winning a fight. But we're not talking about that. Wilder has called himself a king, and heavy is the head that wears the crown. You have to deal with these moments. There's a time and a place to be home and get away for 2, 3 months, 6 months. It's been 18 months. You got to be able to face this moment. Your trainer, Malik Scott, is getting involved in arguments and taking the bait from Fury as if he's the one that's going to fight in July, and he's not. And then you got the fighter who's tuning out the rest of the world. You have to face that. You have to shoulder it because here's the thing. Come July 24th, those headphones are coming off, and you got to feel the arena. You got to face the pressure, and you got to hear the crowd, and you got to face Tyson Fury. And my question is, are you mentally and psychologically ready for that?
Look, I know what it's like to come into a press conference with headsets on and glasses because I did it, Deontay Wilder. I did it. And try to tune out the world. That's what I was trying to do. And the problem with that is that the truth will come to the forefront, and it always does. You have to attack the truth all the time, here on out. But at the end of the day, Tess, I lost that rematch because of the headphones, because I tried to tune out, everything around me, because I didn't want to hear what anybody had to say. And that's a foul in Deontay Wilder. That's a foul. That's a huge foul, and I believe that's going to come back and haunt him in the ring.
Bernardo, you were there. What was your takeaway?
That the mindset is the same as for the second fight, and that's acceptable if you won the fight. I think when things don't go your way, you've got to sit back and reflect honestly with yourself and not worry about the outside noise and not worry about what social media is saying and not worried about what your fans are saying that you're the best and the people who saw you laid out saying that you're the worst. It doesn't really matter, because I spoke with Deontay after and I said, look, we all know that the only person you can't lie to is yourself.
Yeah.
And when he said, I want to have the same mindset, I want to be mean, I want to do that, that worries me because it didn't work the last time. The first time it barely worked after that Undertaker get-up by Tyson Fury. So you've been in there for all these rounds and it hasn't worked except for just tiny moments. To me, he's got to change. He's got to really listen to Malik and change his boxing style, because what he's done so far worked to get him here against everybody else except Tyson Fury.
You know, I think Wilder, to your point, Bernardo, I think Wilder could have put himself in a better position going into this third fight to not just have a puncher's chance. If he faced some of the criticism and faced what he did, he knows what he did right and what he did wrong in training camp, and not take the route that he's taken. You know, we as analysts and broadcasters, and I'll just speak for myself, I'll be the first person to call out a fighter if something was done illegally. But what I'm not going to do is put a jacket on Mark Breland or start to make accusations along with you without proof. A photo online of a glove that has indentation when there's horsehair in there and part padding, that's not the answer. You know, JD is the one that went into the locker room with Tyson Fury. He watched the wraps get put on.
Right.
He watched Tyson Fury put the gloves on. The commission, everybody agreed that, hey, everything is good. We'll sign off on it. So the excuses just don't line up, and that's what concerns me and would concern me if I'm in the corner of Deontay Wilder, is that, okay, we're saying all these things, but it's not amounting to much.
Well, I mean, in order to get over a loss, you have to acknowledge it first. You have to
Which
take
is not easy.
It isn't easy, but you know, he putting the blame, like you said, on everybody else, on the suit, from the suit to the gloves, from the gloves to some water or something he drunk. He's making every excuse in the book, and not one damn time did he say, it's my fault, or put the blame on himself.
He did tell me, I take responsibility, because I posed that question. I said, we had a great interview in the ring where you said my legs felt weak, but I take no credit away from Tyson Fury. But in the end, he said, I take responsibility for that night. Yet, it hedges on all the other excuses after. But in the end, it comes down to this. Only one man can make a difference, and he has to change, because Tyson Fury has his number right now. And Tyson Fury told me, look, I've been away from the ring for 17 months. How's that going to affect Deontay Wilder, that long layoff? He doesn't know.
And I think Tyson Fury knows he has his number as much as Deontay does. And I think wearing the headphones and having the sunglasses the other day was just as much about he can't handle listening to Fury. He can't handle having that in his face right now, as much as it was about not wanting to face the media with all the criticism and excuses and controversies that he's put forth. It was fascinating. We didn't expect we were going to get that. The lead up, we'll be covering this right until we get to ringside July 24th.